66,000 in commissions, 500,000 in revenue, 20,000 in commissions, 350,000 in revenue. So the how behind it, number one is
we're not drug dealers. I don't know where people get this from, but
we are working from like 9 a.m. to like 9 p.m. We are working crazy hours. So boys, we're back with another video. This video is a bit just about what we do. A lot of like what we show you guys is like the money that we spend, the things that we get, and the luxury kind of lifestyle that we live. But I think it's better for us now to kind of just talk about how we do these things, how we make the money that we do, and ultimately how we achieve these goals. Now, we need to beat the drug dealer allegations. It's truly why we're making these videos. Paul, talk to them about that, man.
yeah, you know who you are out there, telling everyone or asking people around me, like, you know, how did these guys may start making a bunch of money out of nowhere? And I mean, it's all legit. It's very, very simple, right? You guys can go look at their 7th level HQ team. That's who we work for, right? Jeremyminer, pretty big influencer. And yeah, we're not drug dealers. I don't know where people get this from, but yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. Look, I went to Ireland and I got about 5 allegations saying that I run a pyramid scheme somehow. But
with the new teeth, mate.
but yeah, anyways, look, boys, let's kind of talk about, first of all, what we do. High ticket sales is what we do. Let's break that in terms. High ticket sales is a space that is booming right now. But what that space concludes of is you are selling an influencer's package. Influencer will market their audience and sell them a specific product. Let's say, for example, you have Jeremyminer, the person that we work for. He sells sales training to salespeople. You have, let's say, Bradley Martin. What would he sell? He would sell fitness packages to people trying to get in shape for a range of, let's say, our packages range from 3,000 to 16,000. So with that being said, that's pretty much what we do in terms of the selling point of view. But in terms of like a day-to-day, what that looks like we are working from like 9 a.m. to like 9 p.m. We are working crazy hours. And this consists of selling packages to people live on Zoom calls. From my perspective, and Paul, your perspective is a bit different. You do the heavy lifting, let's say.
Yeah, so what I do is very simple. I qualify people, making sure that they're actually willing to buy. And I create a bunch of doubts. So there's people, we're selling to salespeople. It's not easy, right? It's probably one of the hardest offers to actually be on because these people know exactly what you're trying to do. They're doing that every single day as a 9-to-5 job. So what we're trying to do is basically create doubt in their brains of, are you actually good at selling? Which is a very hard thing to do. Then I'm qualifying them, making sure they're actually qualified for John Paul or JP. And then once they're qualified, I set them onto his calendar. So it's getting a mini commitment out of them, knowing that they're going to be sold a package to get better at sales overall.
Yeah.
So this either includes calling, whatever hours I'm working, or being on a Zoom call, which are called implementation calls. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that being said, like in terms of high ticket sales, there's 2 roles that you can go into. One of them being closer, one of them being appointment setter. 2 roles are very different. Number 1, a closer is where you're actually closing the deal. You are taking the money off that person's hand. You're taking those credit card details, as they say. But appointment setter is where you're getting the lead even ready to be able to willing and wanting to do that. And that's where the 2 roles very coincide. So the next thing that we want to talk about is like, how do you get into high ticket sales? How can you start making money like me and Paul have? How can you have a month where you're making 66,000 in commissions or 20,000 in commissions? So the how behind it, number 1 is skill set. You got to have a skill set that you will get picked up into a company like 7th level or a high level company that will want to take you on so you can start making the commissions in the first place. Because what happens when you don't have a skill set, Paul? You don't make
money.
There you go, right? So with that being said, it's so important to attain a skill set. Now, how I attain my skill set, there's 2 ways to do it. Number 1 is you either pay for training. You pay for someone to consult you and give you sales training. So when you get into that role, you know exactly what to do and you've acquired a skill set that way. Again, like going to the gym, you can either get a personal trainer and do it in 3 months or you do it by yourself and you do it in 12 months. So the second version, again, is by yourself. But it's not really by yourself. The way that you would do it is by getting into communities with other people, by getting, let's say, involved with other people who are in the space, who are like-minded people, who are wanting to make a lot of money. You get involved with people, and what you would do is you would want to role play. Role play is like practicing. You'd want to call review your calls and conversations that you guys are having, give feedback to each other. Because then every day you guys are practicing and improving. Now, do you have any perspective on how else they could get better?
Yeah, very like a very good way. So is outreaching. And what do I mean by that? Like me and John, we both have an Instagram, right? If you guys were to outreach to us and say, hey, I'm trying to get into an offer of being in sales for X, Y, and Z period of time, or look, I'm new to sales. We can actually explain to you what to actually do, like how to go about it, right? Because a lot of people like are scared of doing that. I don't know why. We're more than happy to help out, by the way. Like genuine. So like one of the main things is practice on your skill set, watch YouTube videos. And I mean, this is like sales is one of the things where you don't have to have money to be able to learn how to sell. So what you can actually do is you can start making money by just learning a skill set that may take a month to actually fully learn.
Yeah, 100%. And that's where the second part comes in, where that's how you learn a skill set. But like, how do you get a role now? A lot of people may learn a skill set, but they're like, oh, well, I can't find a role. So the best way to find a role, which I found from my perspective, there's two ways, right? And the first way is going to be referral based applying. Now, what referral based applying means is ultimately, I'd like you guys to go into communities. Let's say, for example, you sales communities, you want to get into a selling role. You go to someone like Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh has a community that is free where people are ultimately always posting the results of how well they're doing. You want to go into that community, look at people who are doing well. You want to DM that person. You want to then build a relationship with that person. Once you've built a relationship, then you can ask for a referral. A referral is them actually recommending you to their job. And that is one way to go about it. The second way is cold applying. Now, I don't think that's the most successful way to go about it. I don't think it's the most quickest way to go about it, but it's a way that you can go about it. For example, look at the 10 best companies that you want to work at and just apply to those companies cold, and hopefully you get an outreach or someone replying to you at that point in time.
One of the main biggest ones is as well is join a Discord group. Now, what I mean by that is we actually joined Jacob Hopkins' Discord group, which Jacob actually, not Jacob Hopkins, but Jacob Lee, which is one of our really good friends. He's the one that told us to actually join it. And that's how he actually found a few of his offers. We joined that. We were learning. We were role playing with people. We were doing different things and networking as well with different people. And that's how we eventually kind of learned about the like high ticket sales side of things. So I mean, I think doing that will really help you guys because it can give you the advantage where you already have a group of people that are doing what you want to do and are wanting to do exactly or get to the stage where you want to be at.
Yeah, and I think now once you find a role, the biggest question is how do you succeed in the role? And how do you succeed in the role is going to be ultimately down to how are you coming in? What is your attitude? Like, for example, when I came into 7th level, like my attitude was like, I am no one. I am nobody. I am just going to learn off absolutely everybody I can. The reason I wanted to have that perspective is because, number one, you got to look at if they've already been where you want to be, if they've already made the mistakes that you're going to make, why do that again? Why not just learn off that person and be able to improve off those mistakes? That's one of the main things that I did. Number two, you want to always look at who is the top performing representative and try to match his numbers or do better than his numbers every single day. And that's the mindset that I had coming in. Because I didn't want to be in the middle pack. I didn't want to be bottom. I wanted to be top. So you try to replicate those numbers. Now, Paul, I kind of want to talk about our personal journeys now so people kind of know and have a bit more context of like what it took to get here. Because cool, you guys are seeing the 66,000 in commissions, 500,000 in revenue, the 20,000 in commissions, the 350,000 in revenue. But let's talk about the journey that it took to get there.
Yeah, very simple. I worked in corporate sales for about 4 years. That was just pushy sales tactics. Never really worked that well. Possibly make about $3,500 max. And you worked in stacking shelves?
Yeah, so I was stacking shelves. Sorry, well, yeah, you were stacking shelves. I was stacking shelves anyway.
Yeah, I was stacking shelves as well. I've done all of that. I've worked every shitty job you can work. And then I started to build my own company, thinking that I was going to be doing well. And JP got into high ticket sales, started making 30K. I saw that and I went in. You explain a bit more about that?
Yeah, so obviously my journey, a bit more of like, let's say, working the stacking shelf jobs as a super value to company in Ireland. Then come January, I started getting into high ticket sales. I worked for 3 companies at that time. Within those 3 months, I made like 202K in commissions, anything big. But then once I got the job at 7th, I kind of shot up. And that's when I started making 7, 30, 50 in commissions. Once I started making those amount of commissions, then my brother was like, fuck, I can make this money, right? So then he came in as an appointment setter and he was directly correlated to me. So he then became my appointment setter. First 2 months, he didn't have the most success. He made about 2,000, 3,000 in commissions. But then he stuck at it, which is a lot of things that you guys will need to do. Like a lot of you guys will come in and think that you'll make the money that we'll make straight away, but you won't. It'll take time. It's going to be a fucking grind. We work nearly 16, 18-hour days sometimes, and we're still here doing it every single day. And the one thing is he didn't stop. So look at him now. 3 months later, he started making over $20,000 in commissions, which is a huge difference to what he was making only 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much our personal journeys, what it kind of took to get there in a surface level point of view. We don't want to over expand this video too much. But again, this is pretty much everything that we had to speak to you guys about. If you guys have any questions in the comments or anything else you'd like us to kind of cover in next videos, let us know. Put that in the comments. Again, in the description, there's going to be our Instagrams. So again, if you guys have any questions, like please reach out to both of us. And we're going to drop one more thing for you guys at the end of this video. Paul, I think you want to speak more about that.
Yeah, very simple, guys. We actually came to the conclusion today. We're like, you know what? We get a lot of DMs, a lot of people kind of texting us saying, hey, what are you guys doing? How do you guys do it? How can I do it? So we're starting a Discord channel. It's going to be free for the first 100 people that join. Or sorry, we're only accepting 100 people in there. That's what I meant to say. And it's going to be completely free, right? I think we're going to take like 1 hour out of our week to actually do a coaching call on both SDR and closing as well, to try to help you guys. And the reason we're doing that is because we truly believe we can help people. So why not actually try and do it and implement it rather than just keep talking about it, right?
And I think the main thing is like we wish we had that when we started, you know, where we didn't. So it'd be great to kind of pass it on to you guys, and then coming in, you guys have some sort of guidance, so you don't have to make the mistakes that me or Paul made when he took 8 years to make a bit of money and I took 9 months, you know. So definitely important for you guys to learn those details. And yeah, again, guys, make sure you join that Discord. Make sure you follow both of us on Instagram, and stay tuned for the next video. It's been an absolute pleasure. And yeah, see you guys later.